and today I'm going to talk you through the A2 NEA for the WJEC product design. Now this is a time for you to show off your innovation and creativity skills, and you can also follow us on Instagram for all of the latest updates. Now the A2 NEA is all about you, so let's go through to see what we need to do in order for us to be successful at our NEA. The NEA submission overview. So at the end of the NEA, you will need to submit the following: a professional feasibility study, a sketchbook that contains all of your thought process, all of your initial sketches, your development, and any research that you've done throughout your project, a formal presentation portfolio. Now this will be A3 in size, and it will consist of digital submissions that we will print off at the end. So keep this as a digital file throughout the project. We'll also include models and prototypes, your final prototype, and then design advertisement boards to showcase your project. The difference between AS and A2 NEA is that it's your own project, it's your own idea. There's no set tasks by the exam board. It's your chance to really showcase who you are as a designer. Now at AS it was out of 80 marks, A2 is out of 100 marks. At AS level, the design context is provided for you. At A2 there are no design contexts provided. The AS would give you 40 hours of learning. The A2 gives you 60 hours, so a little bit more time to come up with your prototype. At AS there's a little teacher help. At A2 there's no teacher help, just basic guidance to make sure that you're on the right track. The mark scheme. It's really important that you understand how the NEA is assessed. It's split into the same assessment objectives as AS, but each of them have got different weightings. And the big thing which I really want to stress is you do not have to do them in order. You don't have to do them in order. Research is the first assessment objective, but you will have research throughout the whole of your project, from right at the very start, all the way up to the end, from when you're finding out about initial ideas to when you need your user feedback on your prototypes. Also, we need to stress that if everybody's project looks the same, then it will be marked down by the WJEC. So don't get stressed if your friend's project has got 5 product analyses right at the start of the sketchbook and you've only got 2. You might then have another 2 or another 3 further along the line. It really doesn't matter what order it's in, it's whatever suits you as a designer, and your project needs to tell the story of how you started at a context and ended with an innovative solution. We're now going to go through the assessment objectives. Assessment objective 1 is out of 30 marks, and it's split into 2. So you've got identifying and investigating design possibilities. Now I really want to stress here that it's possibilities. That means that you need more than one idea. If you want to end up in the 13 to 15 mark range, you're going to need at least 20 different design possibilities to explore, and then narrow these down with critical problem solving and decision making. The second part is developing a design brief and specification. This is also out of 15, and you can see it's banded in the same way. Now to get to the 13 to 15 marks, you're going to need a well-developed design brief that's showing the problem, the 5 W's plus 1 H, the reasons why existing products have failed to solve this problem. Then in your specification, you're going to need your points to be really specific and well-researched. You're going to want to link back to the research that we can find in your feasibility study and your sketchbook. You're also going to need to come up with relevant ideas of how to test these specification points at the end of your project, and whether they're quantitative or qualitative specification points. Assessment objective 2 is the biggie. It's out of 50 marks. Again, split into 2 areas. Generating and developing design ideas is worth 25 marks. Now again, let's stress that this says ideas, not idea. This is everything from all of your sketching, all of your drawing, your prototypes, your material testing, your research, your CAD, any sort of ideas that you have generated throughout the whole project. Now, in order to get to the 21 to 25, you're going to need a range of different strategies in order to get those different creative and innovative ideas. Now, with your prototypes, this is not just going to be making a scale model of your idea. It could also be when you're coming up with different material testing. So maybe you're going to use the laser cutter, and then you're going to get a piece of ply, a piece of MDF, a piece of acrylic, a piece of polypropylene, and you're going to test out your design using the laser cutter with all the different materials. You might also want to be looking at different ways of fixing. So maybe you've got two parts to your project and you want to know what's the best way to fix this part to this part. Is it that you use a screw? Is it that you glue them together? Is it that you use joining techniques? Is it going to be a temporary fixing or a permanent fixing? These are all things that you can model and prototype in order to get the highest possible marks. Now, the next part of this assessment objective is manufacturing a prototype. Now, you will need a high quality prototype which has been made and manufactured using and showcasing a wide variety of different skills. It needs to meet your design brief and your design specification, because this is the whole reason why you're making this project in the first place. You will also need a detailed plan of make, including cutting lists and costings in order to get into these higher band marks. Now, with these two added together, you will get the 50 marks. Now, it is possible and it is achievable if you're really inspired and motivated by your design problem that you're trying to solve. Assessment Objective 3 is worth 20 marks, analysing and evaluating design decisions and prototypes. Now, this is where you need to really pay attention. Just because this is Assessment Objective 3 doesn't mean that you leave it all the way until the end of the project. This assessment objective is assessed from the very first thing that you do. It's all about analysing and evaluating all of your design decisions throughout the whole project. So even at the start, when you're analysing those initial thoughts, those initial problems that you're trying to find, the marks could come here. When you've done some product analysis and you've analysed them and thought what's good about them, what's not so good about them, how am I going to use this information in my project, AO3 marks will come from that. When you've looked at materials and you've tested them and analysed them and evaluated them and their properties to see which is the best fit, this is where you will get marks for that. So don't just think that you will be able to go all the way through your project, write an evaluation at the end, and end up in those top bands of 17 to 20 marks. Unfortunately, that will leave you in the lower bands, maybe 1 to 4 or 5 to 8 if it is pretty impressive. The last thing that you will need to have is a declaration. If you copy your NEA, then you are disqualified. If you require additional help from me other than what is allowed, then a note of this is made in the justification and the mark will have to be reduced. Now, this is really important that you understand this because both you and I have to sign this form before it gets sent off to the examiner. Now, this means if you have a friend in another institution, you can't copy their work either because most of the time it will be following the same specification. So notice to candidate, the work you submit for assessment must be your own. If you copy from someone else, allow another candidate to copy from you, or if you cheat in any other way, you may be disqualified from at least the subject concerned. You have to sign and date this, and once you have done, if it comes down that you have cheated or copied or allowed someone else to copy from you, then you will be disqualified from the course. Now, this is really important. Now, we don't want this to happen, and I've never seen this happen in product design that I've taught, but I have seen it in other places, especially with other subjects. So please be mindful and make sure that all of your ideas are your creative and innovative ideas from your own mind that you've observed and that you've come up with. And I'm here to help and guide you, but the ideas need to come from you. So I hope that's given you a nice little overview of what to expect and what the expectations are of you for your A2 NEA in product design. Now, you can also access online support. I have created a YouTube channel for all of the resources for your NEA and for your theory, and there's going to be weekly uploads of these lessons. So if you hit the link here, and then you can subscribe to the channel so you'll know exactly when we're going to have new videos. Also, we have our Instagram at St David's DT, so follow us on Instagram to keep up to date with any new posts, videos or announcements that we might have. We're also on Twitter. All of our resources like the booklets and everything like that will be on Microsoft Teams, OneNote and also the Product Design Moodle. So there's loads of different places where you can access this material. So you've got loads of support available to help you. There's also lots of really good online websites that provide resources for product design. So please make sure that you're utilising them, and good luck!